Isn't it nice to have a day off just to relax? There's another video today? 이런 날씨 어떻게 가르칠 수 있겠어? Yeah, I don't really like this weather either. 춥고 바람 너무 많이 불어. 안으로 들어가자. Today I'll teach you about the different ways of saying this, that, and that in Korean. In Korean, there's 이, 그, and 저. 이 is used when talking about something that's close to the speaker. 이게 내 가방이고, 그게 네 가방이야. This is my bag, and that's your bag. But 이 isn't only used for things that are physically close to the speaker, it's also used for things that are mentally close to the speaker, such as ideas or concepts. 이 생각에 대해 어떻게 생각하세요? What do you think about this idea? Just like in English, we say this when we're talking about something that's close to us. 그 is used when talking about something that's close to the listener. Let's take this sentence again. Here, that's your bag means that the bag is somewhere close to the listener, whether physically or mentally. 그 방법이 좋은 것 같아요. I think that method's good. Here, method is used with 그 because it's a concept that's close to the listener. It was probably recently presented by the listener to the speaker. 저 is used when talking about something that's far from both the speaker and the listener. 저 집이 아주 커요. That house is very big. Here, 저 is used because the house the speaker is talking about is far from both the speaker and the listener. If the house were directly next to the listener, the speaker would have used 그 instead. 저게 무슨 좋은 아이디어라고? What kind of good idea is that? This sentence could be said if you're watching TV with a friend and the program mentions an amazing idea. The reason that you'd use 저 here is because the idea is far from both the speaker and the listener. Neither the speaker nor the listener has the idea themselves. So that's all good and simple, but there's still something a bit tricky hidden. 그 and 저 can sometimes be used in other situations. Before you go further in this video though, make sure you fully understand the first part, as these are the most fundamental uses of 이, 그, and 저. Okay, you got it? Now let's go on to some other uses for these. Although it's informal and impolite, 이 is used whenever you want to insult someone, the same way we'd say you in English, as in you idiot. In Korean, this would be 이 바보야. Be very careful when using this kind of construction though, or any Korean informal language, because it can come off as very rude when used in the wrong situations. I wanted to add in here that 그 is also used as an informal way to say him in Korean, and 그녀 as an informal way to say her. You'll see these used a lot in textbook examples, but know that they're not used commonly in real Korean speech because they can sound rude when used to refer to someone. I'll go over some other better ways to say this in a future video. Okay, now for something interesting. 그 and 저 actually can overlap in usage, but only in certain cases. Sometimes you'll switch from using 그 to using 저, or vice versa, even when referring to the same thing. 그분은 정말 좋은 선생님이셨어요. That person was a really good teacher. Here, since we use 그, it means that the teacher is somewhere close to the listener, right? Or does it? It doesn't, because 그 can also be used for things that are physically far from both the listener and speaker, if the listener and speaker aren't looking at it when talking about it. By that I mean, even if it's far away, you should use 그 if the object isn't what you're looking at. Here's another example. Let's take the sentence from before. Here, 저 is used because the house the speaker is talking about is far from both the speaker and the listener. If the listener were to reply, he or she might say this. 네, 저 집이 아주 커요. Yes, that house is very big. The listener still replied with 저 because the house is still far away. However, if the listener and the speaker started to walk away from the house and stopped looking at it, the next sentence could look like this. 그 집에서 누가 살고 있을까? Do you think someone might be living in that house? Notice that the speaker switched to 그 because even though the house is still far away from both of them, it's no longer something they're looking at. If you were to stop walking away from the house and turn to face it again, you'd once again switch to using 저 instead of 그. Also, you can use 저 to refer to something far from the speaker and the listener, and that you know as the speaker, but that you don't think the listener knows. This is similar to the normal meaning of 저 as being something far from both the listener and the speaker. By far, it also includes the meaning of unknown. 저 사람을 혹시 본 적이 있어요? Have you seen that person before by chance? Here, the speaker knows who he's referring to, 저 사람, a person who's far from both the listener and the speaker, but the speaker might think the listener doesn't know who he's referring to. However, once the speaker thinks that the listener knows who or what he's talking about, the speaker can switch to 그. Here's what the next two sentences might look like. 아니요, 저 사람을 본 적이 없어요. No, I've never seen that person before. 그 사람이 학생일까요? Could that person be a student? Here we change to 그 because now the speaker thinks that the listener knows who or what he's talking about. These might seem a bit tricky at first, especially 그 and 저, but once you've used it a few times, it really becomes second nature. If you're still confused or want to practice, watch the video again and try making your own examples.
저 버튼 좀 눌러줄래? 그거. 아무튼 다음에 또 봐.